We haven't looked at rust removers on the channel for a while. And since I currently have access to a white car, I wanted to do this for you and introduce a product that I've already shown you regarding wheel cleaning. It's a combination product, specifically a wheel cleaner and a rust remover. We're talking about the Labocosmetica Sidero. In this video, we're going to take another look at the product, but this time not on the wheels, but as a rust remover on the paint. And with that, I say hello, greetings, and hi. Thanks for tuning in, and it's great to have you with us. As always, we'll start with a brief overview of the product promises, what it is, what it can do, and what it costs. The price is indeed a very, very important criterion for many of you. This 500 ml bottle here costs 14 Deutschland 14. That means for a liter, we're looking at just under 130 euros. And that would make the Sidero comparatively more expensive. Rust remover and rim cleaner, especially when we compare it to something like a shiny garage D-TOX. But that's only half the truth, because according to the manufacturer, Sidero can be diluted up to 1:4. And that's a really, really cool feature. And I already showed you in another video that this also applies to Sidero when used as a wheel cleaner. And above all, that we don't lose that much in terms of cleaning performance when we dilute it. I think that's a crucial difference because, to be fair, one could say, well, you can dilute any rust remover at first. That's true, but with most of them that weren't developed and provided to us as concentrates, we quickly lose a lot of cleaning performance. And that's not the case with the Sidero. We don't need to spend too long on the application instructions because it's a rust remover, and this is one of the simplest product categories out there. We just spray it on the paint, let it sit for a few minutes, and then rinse it off. So we can go ahead and start the test right away. What is the best paint surface to test a rust remover? White paints, because you can see the reaction if it happens, the best here. So we're going to test the Labocosmetica Sidero here in a 1:1 mixture. Testing the mixture. I'm going to spray this here on the side. You can see it here as well. Again, it foams up slightly with this spray head because it's a foam-rich product. And it holds very, very well on the paint without running off. Even though the paint wasn't dry, I pre-cleaned it beforehand and prepared it with a hand wash. So it was wet. That's a question you often ask us. Should I spray the rust remover on the wet paint or should I dry the car first? Honestly, I think it doesn't make much of a difference. But we've just sprayed the Sidero here and we'll observe how it reacts. It's already starting here. And on the other side, we're going to use the Gyeon Iron, which we've been using a lot lately for these kinds of comparisons because it's a product we know very well, and above all, it works reliably, even though the spray head here, in the new current bottle, it's really bad, I have to say. Yeah, now it's gone. I can live with that. He was already annoying me anyway. But you see why we keep saying that the Gyeon Iron is one of the best rust removers out there, to be fair. Look how quickly the reaction is already happening here, and especially how finely it mists. These are really, really positive qualities. From this one, we will now leave both on the paint for about 3 minutes, and then let's take a look at how the reaction was here. So both have been on for about 5 minutes now. To be fair, it's hard to judge because it foams up, so you can't see it as clearly. Here we have a nice reaction, just like we know it from Gyeon. But honestly, I think the Labo Sidero reacted well here. Let's rinse it off and take another look afterwards. So as always, it's very difficult to remove the cleaning performance from the rust remover, just to compare them visually. That's why we're going to do the following now. We're going to apply the same products again, but this time in reverse order, just to see if the Sidero reacts again on the side where the Gyeon was before and how strongly it reacts. And we do the same on the other side with the Gyeon and take a look. No, 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 no. Let's see if it dissolves even more than the Sidero did in the first round. Important to note, we now use the flight house remover hold only by spraying, acting, loading and spraying. We do not provide you with additional mechanical support with a wash mitt, which would further enhance the cleaning performance. All right, we'll leave it on for about 3 minutes again, and then we'll check to see if there's any reaction. All right, both products were on for 3 minutes again, and this is really very exciting for me because both have reacted again. Here is the Sidero, especially up there in that area, just a little bit, and also down here. And also other Gyeon. But in the previous comparisons we have made, remember the comparison between the Shiny Garage D-TOX one and the Gyeon? Or also between the new Megiyas and Gyeon. We always saw that Gyeon, when we applied it on the other side again, reacted really strongly, and it reacted significantly. Here, it reacts significantly less. To be fair, I have to say, I do believe it has dissolved more here than the Sidero did. But don't forget, we diluted the Sidero 1:1. That means we could also use the Sidero undiluted and possibly get even more cleaning performance out of it. But the fact that the Sidero comes so close to the cleaning performance of the Gyeon, even at a 1:1 dilution, is really, really impressive to me. Now let's talk about the smell, or rather the stench. The dilution is, for me personally, already very, very, very impressive. Let's talk about the smell, or rather the stench. The lab-grade Sidero is a brake dust and wheel cleaner with an active indicator, which means it smells like rotten eggs, just like all the others do. The only thing that can be said in favor of the Sidero, and I already mentioned this in the video where I introduced the Sidero as a wheel cleaner, that you can dilute it. When mixed with water, the stench is slightly reduced compared to other products in the same category. But that doesn't change the fact that the Sidero doesn't smell like a meadow of flowers. Instead, the smell of rotten eggs is simply present here. And I certainly won't go. And to tell you that this one smells less than the others, as I said, when you dilute it, the smell is slightly reduced. But basically, it's just like all the other products in this category. They stink. So, and because I can already guess what you're thinking, namely, well, come on, then show us how well the Sidero works when used undiluted. Then we'll do that here too. On the tailgate, half side Sidero, undiluted. Other side Gyeon Iron. Because the G-Iron, now the lid is really getting on my nerves. Slowly, it's a finer mist. It's a bit harder to draw a clear line here. We'll have to keep that in mind later, but it's the same game. Both stay on for 3 minutes. And now we can see that the Sidero is reacting faster than if we had diluted it. And now the G-Iron is catching up. All right, we'll see each other again in 3 minutes. All right, both have been on for 3 minutes again. And I'm going to quickly use them live with you. This beautiful picture here at the back is because I'm quickly holding the bottle here. And then I can take a still image from the video later, and I'll use that right away for the thumbnail of the video. I'm going to use that for both products. So, very, very good. Then we've got that sorted. And now we can see that the Sidero has reacted significantly stronger. This could be because we have more dirt here at the back, or that it really reacts even stronger when used pure. To check that, we're going to rinse it off first. Then I'll apply both again. I'm just going to show you this in fast motion, and then we'll see each other again in another 3 minutes. All right, another 3 minutes have passed. And I think it's nice that we have exactly the same result here at the back as we do on the side. Both have cleaned well, but the Gyeon has loosened even more here on the side where the Sidero was before, but the Sidero has reacted again. That's not the case. I think it's fair to say that the Gyeon cleans just a little bit better, but from my perspective, it's really one of the best iron removers out there. But the Sidero really comes damn close. And above all, I think we've also seen that we don't lose much cleaning performance with the Sidero when we dilute it. And that was something I already mentioned to you regarding wheel cleaning with the Sidero. And that makes it very, very attractive in terms of price. Now the question arises, and I admit it's a valid and good question, how can we assess the performance of the Labocosmetica Sidero? And let's do a little together, like a power ranking. For me personally, the two best iron removers by a considerable margin are the Iron, whether with the old formulation or the new one here, and the CarPro Iron X. For me, and they have always been, these are the fastest reacting, most effective iron removers out there. These two here are relatively expensive, I have to say, 25 to over 30 euros per liter. Then there's a group of iron removers that, in my opinion, comes very close to these two here, but not quite. But they are also a little bit cheaper. For me, the Labocosmetica Sidero belongs to this group. For example, the Koch Reactive Rust Remover or the RRR also belong to that category. And this is then this group here. Then there's a large group of iron removers that work reliably well, but definitely not as well as the two groups here. But they are also much cheaper. For me, that includes the Shiny Garage D-TOX 1, but also the predecessor of the D-TOX and the D-TOX Liquid. That includes the D-Turner Expert Line Iron, the D-Turner Iron Gel, the ADBL Vampire Light, and also the FX Protect Iron Remover. This is a large group of iron removers that are price attractive, but in terms of performance, they're not quite on the level of those here. And then there are rust removers, which are a bit out of the ordinary, because they are unfortunately comparatively expensive. And in terms of performance, they don't match all the other groups. And unfortunately for me, that also includes the Megger's Ultimate Iron Remover, the new one here. And that's quite interesting. I don't think what I'm about to say applies to all products in this category, but we seem to see a connection between the performance of rust removers, their price. That means those that tend to be very expensive also clean relatively well. And I personally believe that this has a lot to do with the concentration of the active ingredient that is responsible for the color change, the reaction, and also for the cleaning performance. So to put it simply, the more of that stuff is in there, the better it cleans, but the more it stinks and the more expensive it gets in the end. I think you already noticed it after my video about the Labocosmetica Sidero, where I introduced it to you as a wheel cleaner. I've become a fan of the Sidero, and I still am. The cool thing is the following. Labocosmetica has not only given us a damn good wheel cleaner with an active ingredient indicator and iron remover, but they've also gone 2 steps further. First of all, they've given us an iron remover that we can dilute, and with that, we can decide for ourselves whether we want maximum cleaning performance, then we use it undiluted. Or if we don't have that much iron dust on the car, for example, if you live near a railway line and park there, or if you work in an industrial area. And if you often need an iron remover, then you can dilute it. Dilute it down to 1 to 4 and use it more often. And then it's especially attractive in terms of price. Very, very attractive because there's also a bulk container available here anyway. And the second point is that there's also an additional anti-lime scale action is promised. That means it should also help remove mineral deposits. Honestly, I haven't seen the promised effect based on another color change on a car yet. And I personally think a Labocosmetica Purifica and acidic cleaner is even better in that regard. And when you know that iron removers are usually pH neutral, here in the bottle it might be slightly acidic. But if the reaction takes place on the paint, then the pH value changes to acidic anyway. Area, clean. That means maybe what's written here actually applies to all iron removers with this working indicator. But I don't know that. Labocosmetica promises us this here, and to my knowledge is also the only manufacturer that makes this promise. So we can also advertise it. I really, really like the side rub. And the point is the following. Normally, I have to decide whether to go for a maximum efficient and effective iron remover like a Gyeon Iron or a CarPro Iron X, which costs a lot of money, nice, or to choose a cheaper one like the Shine Garage D-TOX one. But it doesn't clean quite as well. Normally I have to decide. With Sidero, I get both. When I use it pure, it's just as good as the Gyeon Iron or CarPro Iron X, and then it's just as expensive. If I dilute it, I lose a little bit. Cleaning performance, it still works just as well, if not even better than many, many others. And then I have something cheap, so I actually get two products in one here. And I can still use it for the wheels and can still foam it up. It's a damn good product. And for me personally, it belongs to the... And it will also be one of the favorite products among iron removers in the future. And I don't think I can give the Sidero any more praise. If you found the video helpful, insightful, exciting, and interesting, feel free to give us a thumbs up, support the channel with a free subscription, and tune in for the next video. Hello!